Sharifa and Haroon Don were are Burmese immigrants, and they're studying biology in the 90s and studying zoology. They found out after graduating they weren't going to be able to work in their respective fields due to anti-Muslim laws in place in the country. In response to this, Haroon started attending pro-democracy meetings. And in 1999, security forces came to their door, and in response to this, he fled out of the safety of him and his family. It wasn't until a few years later that they re-linked up in Thailand, and they ended up staying in a refugee camp for a little while, and whenever they were asked where they wanted to immigrate to, Sharifa said it was in her heart to stay close to her family, stay close to her country, but Haroon said that we lost everything. I want to go to America. We lost everything fighting for democracy and freedom, and now I want to live in freedom and democracy. So while it's not a common issue to have your rights stripped away from you, you can imagine it would be a nightmarish situation if it were to occur. The policies of the current U.S. administration have helped normalize anti-Muslim sentiment in the country and have put on the chopping block the rights of immigrants. Many have stories just like Sharifa and Haroon. There are large swaths of the population that are currently fighting to obtain or retain rights that are afforded to basic humans. And this stretches to immigrants, the LGBT community, and minorities like blacks and sorry. For nearly 100 years, the ACLU has brought a spotlight to these issues. They have been a catalyst for protecting those who need it most when no one else will. And they do this through steadfast organization, relentless litigation. As the political landscape became more and more polarized in recent years, and with recent efforts to strip away the rights of dreamers, immigrants, I've decided to become a regularly donating member to the ACLU. And I'm happy to report that I've got the first receipt to my first donation of many donations that I'll be giving to the organization. For nearly 100, so I'm asking you to join me in becoming a regularly donating member of the American Civil Liberties Union. You will be joining alongside historical greats such as Jane Addams and Helen Keller. And to join is to take a stand for what is just in this world and to push back against the never-ending current that values partisanship or profits above human rights. Today, I'm going to review how the ACLU has worked to correct civil injustice in the realm of immigration, in the realm of voters' rights, and even to those who they are diametrically opposed to or their morals might not link up with. So what has the ACLU done for immigrants' rights? Well, to put it plainly, they've done quite a bit in recent years. A September article of Washington Post states that due to pressure from the ACLU, a new version of President Trump's Muslim ban was found to be a rehash of the same discriminatorial practice that was ruled unconstitutional and justly blocked. LexisNexis, an online legal database, reported on October 2nd of last year that a case filed by the ACLU had successfully ruled that it was unconstitutional to hold immigrants with no realistic chance of making bond. Basically, what they did was make it so they had to consider the financial situation of them before setting that bond limit. And if no financial situation could be adhered to, they have to come up with alternate conditions of release. So the rights of immigrants, they're a huge deal, but a topic that's going to get any patriot in a call to action is the topic of our democratic process. The ACLU has been a champion of voters' rights since its inception. It's one of the core values of America to have a fair and open democratic process, and the ACLU takes action to keep this going. As reported in the New York Times in May of last year, the ACLU fought a voter suppression law that was described as targeting black voters with surgical precision. The vote went to the Supreme Court and they won. Furthermore, according to their own website, the ACLU says that they've had a unique gerrymandering case every year since 2015 until this year. And And that's in response to the recent years gerrymandering has been used to steal political power from specific groups like blacks and Latinos. It is easy to take a stand whenever the outcome is to your liking or whenever you're in line with the defending party. But the ACLU has a storied history of defending the rights of people they're diametrically opposed to. As a June article of the Washington Post indicates, the ACLU has defended many people who would fit this description. They defended popular conservative radio host Rush Limbaugh whenever federal investigators came looking for his medical records. They decided he deserved constitutional treatment, and so they fought for it. The ACLU also defended fast food chain Chick-fil-A. Whenever the owner had professed publicly his stance against same-sex marriage, they were being strong-armed out of the Boston and the Chicago areas. And as the ACLU Massachusetts director Carol Rose puts it, those who share his views can have their shout, even if those views are bigoted. So Haroon, he had a vision of America that is not uncommon in this world. A place where someone can be free, because that's the most quintessentially American thing that we can be, that's free. So the ACLU takes the necessary steps to keep that happening. And they keep America a place where the hopeless can find hope. If we don't support organizations like the ACLU, we will lose a safeguard to the very core of the ideals that built up this great nation. With your support for the ACLU, we can make sure that the constitutional rights of every American, citizen and non-citizen alike, can be defended time and time again. It's as easy as going to aclu.org and clicking the Become a Member button on the front page. Remember that when you give your money to the ACLU, you are showing that you care about the future of our election process, that you know that the lives of immigrants are of no less value of your own, and that you believe that every American, including those you would disagree with, should be able to be represented and have representation in this world. Thank you.